You're listening to the Sales Hunter podcast. My name's Mark Hunter. In this episode, what am I talking about? I'm talking about land and expand. You see, if you've got customers that you don't normally get as much volume out of that you want, or you just have a long sales cycle, land and expand is a strategy you need to take a look at. Hey, I'm going to unpack it all right now, and the show begins right now.
You're listening to the Sales Hunter podcast with Mark Hunter, where the focus is to help you as a sales leader sell with confidence and integrity. And now here's your host.
So what is land and expand? Land and expand is really very simple. It's you land the customer, then you expand the amount of sales you get from them. Now, the strategy works this way. Your idea is to keep your selling process extremely simple. Keep it simple. Now, what do I mean by this? This means make it easy for your customer to say yes. This means you might keep it small enough so they don't have to go out to bid. Keep it small enough so they don't have to go to procurement department. Keep it small enough that it's easily within their budget. Keep it small enough that they're not going to go through this whole gyration of comparing you with everybody else. But the idea is to land the customer as rapidly as possible. Why? Because you can prove yourself as a person who can help them. Then once you prove yourself that you can help them, then you begin to expand by offering them additional services, by upselling them, by selling them more. You see, the advantage to this is very simple. Many times what happens is you'll come in and we'll try to sell them everything. And the problem is by trying to sell them everything, we confuse them. They go, whoa, I just don't know which way to turn. This many times is what happens when there are multiple new upgrades to cell phones that you can take a look at. Do I look at the iPhone? Do I look at the Samsung? Which? And so you just say, I'm not going to do anything. But when you keep it simple, it's amazing how much easier it is for you to make a decision. Laptop computers is even a better example, because if you think about it, there's many, many ways you can look at laptop computers, whether or not you're an Apple user or you're, a PC. There are multiple options, and sometimes it can just be overwhelming. So you say, I'm going to stick with what I can. You see, land and expand is built around this whole premise that customers more than likely are not going to make a decision. You see, our number one competitor is not necessarily somebody else. Our number one competitor is the customer just not making a decision. And that's exactly what this is designed to prevent. It's designed to keep it very simple and very easy. Now, the beauty of this is that I can put land and expand into all of my existing customers. You see, what I want you to do is I want you to look at all of your existing customers, and I want you to go back to them and say, how do I expand my business with them? How do I expand the number of services? I do this on a routine basis. I'll go back to customers that I haven't worked with in a couple of years. I've stayed in touch with them, but I'm going back, and it's amazing how much additional business I can get from them. Now, what does this do? It reinforces and cements you as a solution provider to them. And customers are appreciative of it. So land and expand works for existing customers who you really had no knowledge of, no idea that this is what you're going to do. But land and expand works especially well with new customers. Here's why I like this with new customers. It is so easy for us as salespeople to get caught up in what we sell. It is easy. And we want to sell everything. And what does that do? It winds up confusing the customer. And a confused customer doesn't buy anything. And or what happens is the customer says, well, I got to put it out to bid. You got to talk to procurement. I got to get other people involved. It's not in the budget, all these things. And what does it do? It winds up slowing down the process. And right now in today's economy, something we've learned, speed sells. You've got to be able to close the deal fast. Failing to close the deal fast works against you. And this is exactly what land and expand is designed to do. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at what you sell. And I want you to ask yourself, how long does it take a typical customer to go through the buying process? And I'm going to challenge you right now to say, if you adopt land and expand, you'll be able to cut that in half. Now, you're going to cut down the average size of your deal, But what would you rather have? Would you rather have customers thinking about buying from you or actually buying from you? And by the way, it's much easier to get an existing customer to buy more as it is to get a new customer. Hey, what have I been sharing with you? The land and expand strategy. Each week on the Sales Hunter podcast, I bring you 2 episodes. One, a short one like this, focused on a single topic, and the second episode, a longer version where we go deep with a sales expert. My name is Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. This is the Sales Hunter podcast. Would you do me a favor? Subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast app. Hey, check out the Sales Hunter University because I've got courses on land and expand and a whole host of other things. How do you find it? Just go to the website, thesaleshunter.com. I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. Great selling.